Dear class, in continuation with the previous videos, today we'll do some more programs. We'll start with BCD addition. BCD addition is binary coded decimal addition. Okay, because why the processor generally take hexadecimal numbers and we like to do the operation in decimal too sometimes. Okay, so let's take an example where I wanted to add two decimal number 99 and 88. Okay, so the results is 187, but when you feed it into the microprocessor always takes it as a hexadecimal number. Okay, so it will do the operation, a typical hexadecimal operation. So my 99 will be so and so, and my 8 will be 1000 and 1000. So I'll add these two, 100 with an auxiliary carry 1, 0 1 0 0 with a carry 1. Okay, so this is actually 21, which is not actually 187. Okay, so what happened here is when there's an auxiliary carry, okay, you add 6 to the lower nibble. Okay, also if there's a carry from your D7 bit, you add 6 to your upper nibble. It depends on the carry. If there's an auxiliary carry, you give 6. If there's a carry also, you give 6. Okay, and this operation has to be done separately. Okay, you have to check the upper nibble and the lower nibble separately. So now after adding these two, you'll get 87 with a carry 1. So it's the same as your decimal addition. Let's take another example. Let's take 88 decimal with 44 decimal. The answer should be 132. Okay, it's the same thing just as the previous. A processor will understand this as a hexadecimal number, so we'll do the addition of these two numbers. 0 1 0 0, sorry, 0 0 1 0 0. I'll add these two and I'll get 0 1 1 0 0 1 1. This is actually CC in hexadecimal, but in decimal number there are no values from A to F. Okay, so what happened is when your lower nibble is greater than 9, you add 6 to the lower nibble. Okay, at the same time you check your upper nibble. Is it greater than 9? Yes, it is greater than 9, so you add 6 to that also. So you continue doing the addition. Okay, so now if you do this, you get a carry also, so you get 132, which is same as your decimal answer. Okay, so these are the two conditions of doing your BCD addition. One is checking your carry and your auxiliary carry, and the other one is just checking your upper and your lower nibble answer. So let's start writing the program for this one. Okay, I'll assume that my F050, I store my first data 99, and in F051 I'll store my second data 88. So I'll do just typically as I've done in the previous program. I'll point it to the first memory location. Whatever is there in that memory location, I'm storing in an accumulator. So I'll increment my H so that goes to the second data, and move. I will not move actually, sorry. I'll just do the addition directly at M. So it means 99 plus 88 is data I will be adding, and the results will be 21. So what happened is this is one instruction called decimal adjust accumulator. Means whatever is there in the accumulator, it will adjust itself to a decimal number. Okay, so whatever conditions which I've told you in the first example and the second example, you don't have to do it manually. Okay, this DAA will do this automatically. It's a predefined function in 8085. Okay, so just do DAA, or the operation automatically adjust the results to your decimal number. Okay, now next I'll check on a carry, because my carry is also very important. Okay, like first also you need a carry. In the second example also the carry is also important. So I'll take an instruction called jump on no carry to L1. If there's no carry means it's okay, but the result is okay. But if there's a carry, I'll increment a register C. When you increment register C means C plus 1 result is stored in C. Okay, a carry can only be zeros and 1. Okay, so for that matter, so that C will not take any junk value. If I do C plus 1, I'll use an instruction MVIC 00, which means what? I'm loading C with 00. So if there's no carry, my C will be 00 only. But if there is a carry, the condition goes false and my C will becomes 01. Keep in mind that this carry it's checking from the flag register. The D0 bit of the flag register, that is from the carry, is checking from there. So once I depicted my carry, I'll write my L1. So if there's no carry, I'll go to L1. I'll just display my results as usual. I'll just increment my HL pair so that it points to F052. And whatever is there in accumulator, I'll store it in F052. Similarly, I'll increment my H so it goes to F053. And whatever is there in the carry, I'll keep it in the F053. And I'm done with the program and I'll halt now. Okay, hope you understand this. In case you have any doubts, please type in the comment section below, or you ping me in Google Classroom. The next example is BCD subtraction. Okay, in BCD subtraction, we have to take a hundreds complements of a number. Okay, so suppose I take two example, 82 minus 48. Okay, let's take two examples. If I subtract these two numbers, I'll get 34. Okay, remember, keeping in mind that this is a positive value because your first number is greater than your second number. So by taking hundreds complements, what happened is I'll take because 100 I cannot take because 100 is actually a 12-bit number and registers can store only 8-bit number. So I'll do 99. I'll do 99 minus the second number. I'll take 99 minus the second number. Okay, I'll get the result as 51. Okay, I'll add 1 to it. Okay, so I'll get 52. So 99 plus 1 will give me the hundreds complements. That's how I take hundreds complements of a number. Then I'll add it to the first number. So I'll get 134 with a carry. Okay, actually this carry it just depicts that, it just shows that if your answer is positive, means if your first value is greater than your second value, you'll get a positive number. Okay, so we'll take that as a condition for later operation. Okay, for writing the program. Now let's take another number like 48 minus 82. Okay, so I will be getting 56, assuming that I get a borrow from somewhere, and I'll get 56. Okay, remember this is a negative number. Okay, because your second number is greater than your first number. So, and 56 is definitely not the answer. 82 minus 48 should be 34. Even if you do 48 minus 82, it should still be 34. Anyways, I'll show you how we do the adjustment later. Okay, but for now, we'll do the same procedure where I take the 99's complements of the second number, hundreds complements of the second number by subtracting 99 and then adding 1 to the result. Then add it to the result is added to the first number. So I'll get 66. Okay, 66 is nowhere near the results also. So what happened? And remember, we don't have a carry here. Okay, so when we don't have a carry, it means that your results is negative. We'll keep that in mind as a deciding factor whether the answer is a negative or a positive answer. Okay, and what happened is when you get 66, you have to take 100 complements of the number again to get the results. Okay, so I'll do 99 minus 66 plus 1, so that become hundreds complements. So I'll get 34. Now the answer will match, and now I'll get the results. Okay, which means if your answer is positive, it's easy, it will just get the answer just like that after doing hundreds complements itself. But if your answer is negative, you have to retake the hundreds complements of the result to get the original results. So similarly here also they do the same typical initial way of doing it. I'll put first data in F050, I'll put second data in F051. Okay, this time I'm not going to put my first data in A register, I'll put it in B register, and I'll put my second data in my C register. Why? Because since I have to do my my hundreds complement, so I'll need my accumulator for subtraction or addition later. That's why see MVI A with 99 to do the hundreds complements. So I'll subtract it with the second number. My second number is actually now in C register. Okay, my first number is in B register, my second number is in C register. Okay, so when I subtract 99, I subtract it with the second number, so I'll do subtract C. Okay, so when you do C means A minus C, result is stored in A. So that A, I have to add 1 to it. According to the logic, I have to add 1 to it. So adding 1 to it means I'll just increment my A, because since my result is there in A, if I increment my A, it becomes A plus 1, result is stored in A. Okay, so whatever that A content is, I'll just add it to the first number. My first number is there in B, so I'll add it in B. Then I'll just DAA, because since it's a BCD subtraction, I'll just DAA it. Okay, next I'll check on a carry, okay, to see if my results is okay or not. Okay, since I've told you from the beginning that if it's a positive, if there's a carry means it's a positive number displayed, but if there is no carry, you have to redo your hundreds complements of a number of the result. So I'll check on a carry JC. If there is a carry, which means you're actually, it's over, means you just have to display your results, put your results into the memory. But if there's no carry, you have to redo your hundreds complements. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just move a copy of my result. I'll move a copy of my result, which is an accumulator, into another register D, and then I'll I'll do my hundreds complements again. So I'll move immediate A with 99 H, so that I can do the hundreds complements again. So I'll just subtract it with D, so it becomes 99 minus D. Okay, and I'll increment my accumulator again. Okay, and I'll get the accumulator, then I'll get my results will be there in the accumulator. Okay, so I'll just continue my my L1 in the next line. Okay, so if there's no carry, if there's a carry means it'll jump here, and if there's no carry also, it'll do the hundreds complements of a number again, and the program sequence will follow. Okay, so I'm done. So I'll just like to move whatever data into the memory. So I'll increment my H so that it points to F052, and whatever accumulator, whatever is there in accumulator, I'm going to move it to M, to F052, and again I'll into M, and then I'll halt the program. Hope you understand. If you have any doubts, please put it in the